Hello everyone, I'm Max. Welcome back to the channel. I want to start today's video with a little thought experiment. Imagine you wake up tomorrow morning. Your alarm rings, you swing your legs out of bed, you pick up your phone, and you open a message from a friend written in English. You look at the screen, and nothing happens. You look at the letters, but they look like ancient hieroglyphics. You try to speak, but no words come out. Every single piece of English you ever learned in your life, every grammar rule, every vocabulary list, every movie you ever watched, every phrase you memorized is completely gone, erased from your memory. You can't speak, you can't understand, you are standing at absolute zero. Now, if that happened to you, what would you do? Of course, your first reaction would be total panic. I would panic too. But after the panic passed, you would have to face a very tough question. How do I start learning this language all over again, from scratch? I spent a lot of time thinking about this question recently. I looked back at my own journey learning languages. I thought about all the years I spent sitting in frustrating classrooms. I thought about the thousands of students I've talked to over the years, students who studied for 5, 10, or even 15 years and still feel like they can't speak fluently. I made a giant list of everything that actually works and everything that is a complete waste of time. And I realized something incredible. If I lost all my English today and had to start again from absolute zero, I would not do 100 different things. I would not download 20 apps, buy 10 grammar textbooks, or watch random videos all day. I would only do 5 things. Not 10, not 20, just 5 rules. And if you follow these same 5 steps starting today, whether you are a complete beginner or an intermediate student who feels stuck, I promise you, you will master English faster and with way less stress. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, make yourself comfortable, and watch this video until the very end, because this might be the most valuable 20 minutes you ever spend on your English journey. Let's jump right into step number 1. Step 1. Destroy your biggest enemy. Get a system. Before we talk about step 1, we need to understand how a language is built. When people talk about learning English, they are usually talking about 6 core elements: grammar, vocabulary, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The first 2, grammar and vocabulary, are what we call systems, or the foundation. Think of building a house. What is the smallest building block you need to build a brick house? A brick. Grammar and vocabulary are the bricks. Then you have listening and reading. These are your receptive skills, information coming into your brain. Finally, you have writing and speaking. These are your productive skills, information going out of your brain into the world. Now, here's where 95% of English learners make a massive mistake every single day. Imagine your typical study day. You sit down at your desk, you open your laptop, you open YouTube or a browser, and you pause. You spend 10 minutes thinking, what should I study today? Should I watch a grammar video on tenses? Should I read a news article? Should I listen to a podcast? Is this video too hard? Is it too easy? Am I actually improving? Let me tell you a truth. That decision you have to make every single day is your absolute worst enemy. In psychology, there's a term called decision fatigue. When you waste 15 or 20 minutes every day just trying to decide what to learn, your brain gets tired before you even start studying. And because you're picking random things every day, a podcast today, a grammar page tomorrow, a random movie scene on Friday, your knowledge becomes like a pile of disconnected puzzle pieces. You learn tiny, unrelated bits of English that never stick together to form a real picture. How do you destroy this enemy on day 1? You get a learning system. What is a learning system? A system is any single structured resource that takes away all the guessing. A good learning system provides 3 things. Number 1, Content. It automatically covers all 6 elements: grammar, vocabulary, listening, reading, writing, and speaking in a logical step-by-step order. Number 2, context. It shows you where and how those words and grammar rules are actually used in real life, so you're not just memorizing boring lists. Number 3, a plan. It tells you exactly what to do today, tomorrow, and next week. A system can be a structured language school, a reputable online academy, or a single comprehensive course book series, like Cambridge or Oxford English courses. When I was growing up, we didn't have the internet like we do today. The only system available was going to a physical language school. I had to pack my bag, take a bus, sit in a classroom for 90 minutes, and take the bus back home. Today, you have incredible online academies and structured digital programs where you can do all of this from home. The main point is this: stop being a collector of random English content. Pick one reliable system, trust the process, open to page 1 or lesson 1, and let the system guide you. No choices, no decision fatigue, no wasted time. Step 2. Discipline and the 15-minute rule. Once you have your learning system, what is step 2? Step 2 is discipline. And honestly, this is the single factor that separates the students who become fluent from the students who quit after 6 months. Let's talk real talk for a second. Look at your current study routine. Do you have a fixed schedule? Do you know exactly what time you are going to study English tomorrow? If you don't have a specific time blocked out, you don't have a plan, you just have a wish. Now, when students decide to get disciplined, they usually make a huge mistake. They get super excited on Monday, motivated by a video like this, and they say, "That's it. Starting today, I am going to study English for 2 hours every single day." I am completely against doing this. Why? Because motivation is an emotion, and emotions change. On Monday, you feel great. On Tuesday, you feel good. On Wednesday, you get a bad score on a test or have a stressful day at work. You look at your schedule, see 2 hours of English, and your brain says, "Oh no, I'm way too tired for 2 hours today. I'll just skip today and do 4 hours on weekend." Then weekend comes, you feel guilty, you skip again, and suddenly 2 months go by and you haven't opened a single book. Massive plans kill your discipline. So if I started from 0 today, here's my rule. I will only study for 15 minutes a day. That's it. Just 15 minutes. You might say, "Max, 15 minutes isn't long enough to learn a language." And technically, you're right, but here's the psychological trick that changes everything. The hardest part of studying is not the studying itself, it's the friction of starting. Deciding to turn off Netflix, sit down, open the notebook, and start, that initial movement is where 90% of people fail. But when you tell your brain, "Hey, don't worry, we're only going to study for 15 tiny minutes," the resistance disappears. 15 minutes is nothing. It's shorter than scrolling on Instagram or TikTok. You can do 15 minutes even if you're tired, even if you're traveling, even if you had a terrible day at work. And do you know what happens once you sit down and cross that starting line? 80% of the time, once you're already engaged in the lesson, you will naturally feel like continuing for 45 minutes or an hour. It's a trick you play on your own brain, but on the days when you are truly exhausted and really not in the mood, stop at exactly 15 minutes. Close the book, celebrate, and go to sleep. By doing this, you accomplish 3 massive goals. You guarantee 100% unbroken consistency because 15 minutes is always doable. You frequently end up studying much longer without feeling forced, and your brain touches English every single day, keeping the neural pathways active. Step 4. The complete study cycle. Now, let's look at what actually happens during your study sessions. Step 4 is following the complete study cycle. Every time you learn a topic inside your system, you must take that topic through a strict 6-step loop. You cannot skip steps. Substep A, grammar and vocabulary. You always start with the foundation. You learn a new grammar structure and a set of target vocabulary words. And let me pause here to address something I hear all the time on the internet. Many teachers online like to post videos saying, "Stop learning grammar. Grammar is useless. Just speak naturally." I completely disagree with this advice. It is impossible to build a language without grammar. Grammar and vocabulary are the structural foundation. Saying you don't need grammar is like building a 10-story building without a foundation or steel beams. It will collapse the moment you try to express complex thoughts. You must learn the grammar first. Substep B, receptive skills, reading and listening. Once you learn the grammar and vocabulary, you immediately move to reading and listening activities. But here's the critical rule.